Episode 5 started with something that's emotional for a different reason. It was the Madison Square Garden All-Star Game in which Kobe Bryant had his first appearance and Michael Jordan was there as well. What was the decision to start episode 5 with the Kobe-Jordan relationship?
It was always that way. When we first drafted out what the arc of the entire season was going to be, the All-Star break, of course, happens midway through the season. So we knew that All-Star scene and MSG was going to be somewhere in episode 5 or 6. And then we settled on the top of episode 5 to leave episode 4 with them playing their final game of the first half of the season, that loss in Utah. So we interviewed Kobe last July, and then we didn't cut that scene or edit that scene until December and largely after New Year's. And we finished it around January 16th or so, midway through the month.
Wow.
And then the accident happened, and it was mind blowing for all of us. I still can't wrap my head around that, especially to see him on screen talking like that. It still doesn't make sense to me. But the only thing we changed about that scene was to add the dedication to the top of the scene and the top of the show. But otherwise, that scene plays exactly as we cut it when we finished it when Kobe was still with us.
It was me watching MJ in the final season of him winning the championship and then playing against Kobe in the first year that he won his championship, and Phil was the coach for both guys. And MJ didn't have any foresight to this because he was facing Kobe in the All-Star game and almost was like he was looking in the rearview mirror. And he was really focused on the fact that Kobe wanted to go one-on-one. He made a point to let everybody know about that. So what were your feelings on him making sure he acknowledged that he wanted to slow down Kobe in an All-Star game?
I mean, how much does that say about Kobe as a player and as a person and as a presence, that the greatest player of all time is sitting there in his last All-Star game as a Bull in the Mecca at Madison Square Garden, his favorite place outside of Chicago to play in the world. And the topic of conversation right before tip-off is not him. It's not his All-Star memories. It's not what's going on in the East that year. It's that little Laker boy is going to make this a one-on-one game. And keep in mind, too, the words that he uses, he's not saying he's going to try and make this a one-on-one game. He's saying, I'm going to make this a one-on-one game. I mean, Kobe's going to exert his will at the age of 19 over all of the best players in the NBA at that time. And if you look at the young players, the Pennies and the KGs and the Grant Hills, and then the older folks who were on the court there at the time as well, it speaks volumes about Kobe and the fact that they knew that this kid was a different species when he came in, that even MJ, even the GOAT, is saying he's going to dictate the pace of this game, and there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it.
What was Kobe Bryant like to interview? I mean, he's also intense and very focused and high IQ for the game. What was the interaction with him like before you sat down during the interview?
That was the day of the ESPYs. So he was finalizing his speech where he was going to present an award to Bill Russell. So I think that we were in the back of his mind that day because he was very, very concentrated on what he was going to wear that night and how they were getting up to the arena. We did that at his office. So he came onto the set and he hadn't even sat down yet. And he was like, all right, let's go. Like this was like it was going to be tip off. It wasn't that we were rolling camera. It's that we were throwing a ball up to play, go to 11s by 1s and 2s. So it felt immediately like a game. And then to sit there and discuss with him, I mean, he's going to hold things close to the vest, and he's not going to give up his love or reverence for MJ that easily, because I'm sure in his mind he's just as much of the GOAT as MJ or LeBron or anyone else that you want to bring up. So I think one of my first questions was, when was your first pair of Jordans that you got, and tell me about your idolization of him as a kid. And he said, I was a Magic guy. And I didn't wear Jordans because we couldn't get Jordans where I was. I was in Italy, so I couldn't get them. So someone sent me. He would not give it up. And I wanted him to say, like, yeah, that was my guy. It was only when we got further into the conversation that he started to say that he would study his moves. And then, of course, when we started discussing the All-Star game, and I never knew. I mean, I had heard that they were friends away from the cameras, and Jalen can attest to this, that there's 1,000 different friendships that we don't know about in the NBA. But being as cynical as I am after 20 something years in this business, I thought, like, okay, well, he was your big brother, really, like you were that close. Okay, fine. And then for Michael to make the speech that he made at the memorial service, and to be as emotional as he was, I mean, this really was a brotherly relationship, and that Michael helped Kobe through some hard times, both on and off the floor. And in his words, made him what he was. You know, I didn't even go there with. I did. I think what elicited that response when he said, "I don't like when people ask me one-on-one who would win," because I said, I heard that you said to MJ one time, "Prime Kobe against prime MJ, I would take you." And we started joking about that. And he said, "I honestly don't even like discussing it because it's disrespectful to him to even discuss that I might be able to beat him. So when people come up to me, I say, yo, slow your roll. Like, I got everything you see from me came from him." That's where that soundbite came from. So he's a tough nut to crack, man. Like, he's competitive about everything, and he was going to make me earn the sound bites that we got for the doc. He wasn't just going to sit there and start, pouring out his soul. He was going to make sure that I had the hammer and nail, and tried to crack him.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.